Hey guys, welcome to Sheen Talk Live. My name is Quentin Fears and I'm your host today. And this is the journey on Sheen Talk Live where I talk to celebrity and artists about their first big break in an effort to inspire us all on our own lifelong journey. And today I have an amazing guest, Cedric Brown of the Cedric Brown Collection. He is an artist, a designer, and he makes silks. He makes silks that he turns into like caftans and like scarves and pocket squares and all that. So we're going to talk to him about how he got into it and why he's doing it. He became an artist. So he's popping up right now. I'm adding him in. Do I look studious today? I want to look very, like a college professor. I do have my glasses, but it kind of, hey, how are you doing?
How you doing, Quentin?
Good, good. I was saying I wanted to wear my glasses, but the light bounces back in the reflection. Yes.
Oh, no.
So where did you grow up in Georgia?
Yeah, I'm born and raised in Atlanta,
Oh,
actually.
that's awesome. That's awesome. And you were raised by a single mom who did an amazing job. How did she inspire you?
I would say just as a little kid, I enjoyed like dressing her. I feel like my mom could dress really well, so when she would go out on a night of town, I'll probably suggest her to wear this or suggest her to wear that. And she also has an entrepreneur spirit, so she definitely inspired me in that way as well.
Oh, wow. How was she an entrepreneur?
Just coming up, my mom, she also sold clothes for a living as well, so
Oh,
that
wow.
just growing up as well got me into the entrepreneurship and just also into fashion design.
Well, you see, it runs in the family. I love that. And so have you always been into art? Because you are an artist as well as a designer. So what came first? Was it the art or was it the clothes?
Naturally, I want to say it came with the art. Just even as I remember from being a toddler, I would just scribble fashionable women on paper or just scribble anything on a paper. I always was doodling. And once I discovered what a fashion designer was in fifth grade, I was like, oh, I want to have my own clothing line. When I was in fifth grade, it was like the big brands like Sean John,
Yeah.
Fat Lauren, of course, Ralph Lauren. And just seeing that, I was like, oh, one day I want to have the same thing for me.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. And so before you actually got into designing and become a designer, you did do art and your art has been seen in Russia and China. How did that come about?
Oh yeah, absolutely. A lot of those opportunities came when I was in high school, and I also was a part of the Boys and Girls Club. And being in the part of that community, we had a lot of great opportunities where we could exhibit our artwork in different exhibitions that they had, and also that traveled. And also, I was the type of person that entered every single competition that I can get into. And like some of those competitions I won, and that's what kind of like built up my resume.
That sounds amazing. That's like me. I was like, I'm gonna do all of it, but I never won anything.
Yeah, that's the thing is like I'm the type of person I apply for everything. A lot of times you're not gonna win, but you'll get like one or two of them that you do win, and that's what makes everything well worth it.
Yeah, that's amazing. And so your art was placed in China and St. Petersburg, Russia. That's amazing. Congratulations. I still have to give you. I know it was years ago, but that is amazing. I love it.
I well, thank you so much for bringing that up because as I have this brand, a lot of people don't know my background in art and like doing paintings. Like I tell them that, and I always have to keep refreshing people's brains and heads and stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff, but a lot of people don't know that background.
Exactly. And that's kind of it seems like the inspiration of your designs because it's as abstract art that's printed onto silks, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow. So before we get to that, you went on from high school and you studied fashion design at the Savannah School of was it art and design?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to Savannah College of Art and Design. I went to abbreviation for SCAD. Yes.
SCAD. And tell me more about that. What was that like for you, especially being a black man there?
Um, So actually, when I graduated high school, I went to community college, and
Okay.
then I transferred here to SCAD. So going to community college kind of like was like a community vibe, community feeling. And when I got to SCAD, it was more so like a very professional, competitive vibe. Like everybody thinks they're the best artists in the world.
Yeah.
Everybody think they're the best
That
designer in the
because
world.
that's a really good school,
So,
right? Especially for art.
oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So you get this whole competitive vibe energy. But for it's like the professionalism of it, just learning a little bit more about design that I didn't know, just the backgrounds and studying fashion or just getting inspiration from everything. I definitely think SCAD was definitely helpful for that.
Nice. And during your time there, you interned for Sears and Kmart. Tell me about that.
Yes, absolutely. During my junior year, I always, I had these dreams, I want to be a fashion designer. And you don't necessarily know when you're in undergrad, how you're going to get there. But I knew that I wanted to experience living in New York and I wanted to have some kind of, design internship. And a lot of the big high-end brands that show in New York Fashion Week, a lot of those internships are like unpaid. So I was like, if I have to get to New York, I know I have to get a paid internship. And Sears and Kmart was one of those brands that came to my school, SCAD, and they offered me a paid internship over
That's
the summer.
amazing. That's amazing. Get in where you can
And then,
fit in. And also, I love that they paid the interns.
yeah, absolutely. And then later on, because I may even have one of my former VP, he's sometimes comment on my Instagram pages, but I later worked at Lee and Fong Limited, and that was also a paid internship as well. And I worked as a menswear design intern. And at Sears and Kmart, I worked in boys design intern. Then later, I worked at Carter's Oshkosh in Atlanta, where I was a tech design intern, and it was baby clothes. So
Oh, that's
I've
really cute.
had
That's actually really cute. And so, what did you learn in all these internships?
I think at
Oh, someone gave you a really nice
different
shout
things. I
out.
would say,
Someone.
oh, that's Miss Connie. Thank you so much. Um, I would say at each place I learned different things. So at Susan Kmart, there was the time where I was getting ready to go into my senior collection. So it was nice to work in design then because we did a lot of design research. We would do competitive research, like going to different stores, seeing different, seeing how different designers make things and doing things like that. We also took field trips to like the art museums when I was there. So I got to go to the Met Museum. And actually going to that Met Museum on that field trip, we had it was this exhibition called Punk Chaos to Couture exhibition.
Oh wow.
And it was a lot of hand painted designs on fabric. So
Oh,
I was at the time still working on my senior collection and I seen like these Dolce & Gabbana dresses and what other brand? It was another brand that
probably
they had
like
these hand painted.
Vivian Westwood because she was very much punk.
Yeah, Vivian Westwood. Yes, Vivian
Yeah.
Westwood as well. But I'm trying to see which designer it actually was that had the hand. But she definitely probably had that too. But I had some organza, and I had then put like some abstract like acrylic paint on organza, and I put it in my scrapbook. And when I came back for senior collection, my teacher, he was kind of like being very tough on us. Like, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this. And he seen that scrap of the organza with the paint and was like, I like this. Like, this is what you should do. This is your meat and potatoes and stuff. Because he know I had a art background as well. So, so that was the first internship. The second internship, Lee and
What?
Fong Limited, I would say I learned a lot about business. Just, um, this is a company that they made things that like private label brands for companies all over. Like we worked with Target, Walmart, Saks Fifth Avenue. Um, I can't even think of how to brand. We worked with a lot of brands, but just think of I'm coming from. I worked on low end to high end things working in design, and it just taught me just so much about business, about how each company order things on the different price points, and just everything from the wholesale level to just conducting a business, selling yourself. Because this was a company that constantly had to sell themselves to these other businesses to convince them to have us design that stuff for that season. So I feel like that taught me a lot about business. And my last internship was in tech design, so that just taught me just a whole lot about business as well, and also about fit of clothes. About all those measurements, how everything like for measuring around the neck, making sure it can go for baby's head, and just little things like that, and just manufacturing. Seeing that they may have one, shirt or bodysuit, but they may have 10 different factories that make that one bodysuit just because of the volume and things could go wrong, so different things like that just taught me about business.
Yeah,
I feel like you get what you want to get out of it.
that's amazing. Actually, I watched a master class with the lady who created Spanx, and she talked about having to work with different manufacturers because you never know, something can go wrong in one place, and then you don't have product to sell, and then your whole business is kind of gone aflame. But so I wanted to talk to you. People always want the high end sort of internships, but working with like working with Sears or Kmart could be amazing because it could lead to you being placed in those stores or something like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I would say absolutely, and also not only that, a lot of the people who did work, who were like my lead designers, they came from high end, so they were previous designers at places like Donna Karan and Perry Ellis and all those brands. That these people have been in the game for years, and they just later probably went to come to Sears because they probably got paid more money there, or the environment. The environment also is different from, like I feel like when you work in those high end, area places, it depends on who it is, but it's also kind of like how I said at SCAD, it was a competitive environment. Like the job is competitive. People have this project runway, I don't know, mentality. Like you just constantly, they're not even having life. They're just all about the next collection, runway show. And then like people who may work at Sears and Kmart, they have families. They don't want to have that high stress, even though it's still stressful, but it's not stressful like it is at a brand like that.
Basically. Yeah, it's also nice to have a life as well. But speaking of, you hustle too, because while you were in school, you were also working at the bookstore. What else were you doing? You were working somewhere else. You had like multiple jobs.
How you find that research out? Yeah, absolutely. So when I was in college, I worked in the bookstore. I worked also at the grocery store.
Oh yeah, you were packing groceries at the grocery store. That's what it is.
Absolutely. And then also I feel like my other job was applying for scholarships. I was applying for every single scholarship I can, writing essays all day long. So writing essays and stuff was also like a job, but I felt like it was worth getting that so that I wouldn't be in a lot of debt. And, I could also have a leftover for refund checks to buy my art supplies and other stuff that I may need it. So
man, that's really smart. I love that debt-free life. Yes.
absolutely. That's the way to go, right?
Right? Yeah. So your teacher back in college was going over your portfolio and he was like, oh, I like this graffiti on the silks organza. You need to do this. So what was the next step for you?
Well, so
it was combining your art and your fashion together.
Absolutely. So it was my professor, Mark, and it was just like he was having meetings with everybody in our class, and he was going off on everybody like, y'all didn't do no research over the summer. Like, this stuff is terrible. I don't like nothing I see. And then also he was saying things that I sketched a lot was like suits and jumpsuits. And he was like, this is old lady stuff. And so I had to argue back. That's not old lady. Like, I was like, if it was such old lady, why they sell it in the stores? And so he was just like, okay, if you want to do this, you go to the library. I want you to research Halston, Yves Saint Laurent, and
I think that's very Halston, very Americana, very jumpsuits, drapey, silk.
And I want to say Emmanuel Ungaro. I think that was the other designer. But those Ungaro, yes.
Yeah.
So those were the ones that, and then like so with the Halston, he of course I love his stuff after watching like the documentaries with Studio 54 and the whole disco vibes and stuff. So I love that. So he had a collaboration with Jackson Pollock where it was these abstract art mixed with his stuff. So like with the caftans and all that stuff. So I was like, oh wow, this is goes with what I'm doing. And
Wow.
also I made my muse also for that particular year. So I love fashion, but I also like a little bit of gangster. So I like Scarface. I like Michelle Pfeiffer in Scarface, the way she dressed. So she was my muse. So she actually wore a YSL suit, and she wore a Halston jumpsuit, like when she's in the disco kind of thing. And that white suit is a famous YSL suit. So I was like, I'm gonna, So also I like to use muses and different research when I'm creating things. So.
Wow, that's amazing. I love that you love Halston because he's like the great American designer, and maybe you'll be the next one.
Oh, absolutely. I speaking of like inspiration, actually in one of my latest collections, I did a photo shoot last fall, and my friend was like, I just came out with these slip dresses, and my friend, I was like, because I'm good at stuff, but sometimes your brain get frozen. You just have so much stuff on your plate that you don't really sometimes get creative. And he was like, "Yo, if you do this slip dress, you need to do like make it like James Bond. Like you need to have like a Bonds girl." And I was like, so then I was watching my Fire Stick. They have like a whole station for James Bond because I watched James Bond movies, but not like how he was like a fan of it.
Yeah.
And I just started seeing all these James Bond movies, and I was like, yes, this is it. So I made a photo shoot inspired by like the James Bond look, and I had on my suit with one of my bow ties, and I had one of my models with the full gown on and one of my slip dresses.
Oh, nice. That's very elegant. I love that. I love it. So like, how did you? So you started off with just $200, and then you've developed this business from that. What is that about? How did you do that?
Yes, so when I graduated from college, everybody sometimes they be super excited. Like, you graduate and I see some of my other friends or peers I grew up with, they're getting like full-time jobs, they're moving up in their career. And actually our guest speaker at the SCAD graduation had said, you're gonna have your friends, they're gonna be getting these jobs, they're gonna be all that, but when you're being an artist, it may not happen for you like that right away. That may come
I
in
understand.
time. Yeah. So I was kind of depressed, I would say, like, because and then it was tough, even being in the fashion industry and like being a minority, like getting a design job is just difficult. And at the time, I couldn't get anything. I was applying for everything, even with having those internship experiences. I was not able to get a full-time job. So one of my cousins was recommended me to take some free entrepreneur classes that he was taking. It was at Ebenezer Baptist Church, and so I decided to do it. And we got into the process of developing your business plan. And I kind of had an idea because I met this designer, Wes Gordon, and he had gave me some
Oh
advice if
wow.
I wanted my own
You met Wes. He's the creative director now at
Carolina Herrera. Carolina
Yes,
Herrera.
yes, yes.
Yeah, so my
He
my
had his own
godmom,
line a couple of years ago too.
yeah, so that's when I met him when he had his online. Actually, my godmom was neighbors with his mom.
Oh
So
wow.
I had never met him. So when I was in New York, they set it up for me to come meet him one day at his studio. But when I met him, I was telling him that I had an interest of having my own line. And he was saying, like if you do have your own line, to like he recommended to start off with one item and then expand into other stuff because you think of brands like Levi's where they have denim, they're known for that for years. Compared to I could just see he was investing in full on collections and I can see that it could be tough, making a return on your money. Not only that, like just he was telling me nightmares of like even selling stuff in department stores, how they can cancel something on you last minute or stuff can go wrong in production. So just all those factors made me say like I want to start off with something more simple. So.
Nice. And you start off
So I made them.
small and, develop it and go slow, which, it's the way to go. So what did you develop first? Did you develop the pocket squares first, or did you do the caftans first?
Actually, scarves. That
Scarves.
was the first thing. Yeah, that was the first thing. And then eventually, gradually, I had men asking for stuff, so I added pocket squares and the neckties, bow ties. And then I want to say maybe next I went to the kimonos, capes, and I went to the socks.
Nice.
So yeah, I've
Now,
been slowly adding new stuff.
so how do you go about creating the print and then printing? Are you printing them on the silks? How do you do that? What's that process like?
Oh yeah, so I do the artwork myself, and then like I just transfer it to on my computer, make my manipulations, and then I just have it. I have it printed. I don't do the printing myself or whatever.
Wow. But that's amazing. I mean, I'm like, I'm just amazed when people make their own fabrics and design their own prints. It's amazing. It's so cool. So you met someone who got your clothes on Lynn Whitfield.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Actually, I met that person is actor Lamont Rucker. He's my mentor. But actually, so I met him from doing a pop-up shop in the city in Atlanta, and it was actually an event at the Heyman House. And I want to give a dedication because to the lady who introduced me to the Heyman House, I just found out she passed like
Oh.
a few weeks ago. I didn't even get to tell her thank you, but um,
Well, now
I met
you
I
might
was
have to
in.
do a collection after her or something, or name one of your kimonos after her.
Yeah, so it was an event. I was one of the guest designers. It was an exhibition for the oh, I can't even think of the word, but it was the African men in suits, and
Okay.
it's like a big exhibition with them. Oh, I can't think of this word right now. Um, well, I'll come back to it. Anyway, it was the exhibition. I was the guest designer, and actor Lamont. It was a lot of people that came to this event. Actor Lamont Rucker, rapper Pastor Troy, a few other like famous artists, and different people were in the mix of this grand opening of the exhibition. And so Lamont Rucker was by my booth for a minute, and at first I was not going to approach because with celebrities it's a hit or miss. It's like I don't know. Then I'm like, okay, I don't want to just be giving stuff out for free all the time. Like I was just getting annoyed. But I have had some good experiences, and I had some bad ones. But at the time, I was like, I don't know. And he was by my booth for a minute, so I was like, well, I may as well not pass up the opportunity. So I was like, yo, if I give you something to wear, can you give me a shout out on social media? And he was like, if somebody's gonna pimp me, it might as well be my own people.
I
And
love
so
that.
we just
Yeah,
like laughed. And we started talking. And he was like, if I mean, we started talking. He was like, I can give him something to wear, and he will also buy something. So he bought some pocket squares, and he was telling me about the show Greenleaf. I already been watching Greenleaf from like maybe a year or two before that, so I was fully aware of it. And he was just giving me a background on how to pick clothes for each scene and the color coordinations and everything that they do. And he'll give it a shot of giving it to the costume designer.
Oh wow!
So
So
I
he introduced your clothes to the costume designer?
Yes, it's also it's Miss Janetta Boone and also Miss Lisa Smetley. So he introduced I automatically DM Miss Janetta Boone, and she responded back and said, yes, Lamont introduced me to you. And it took us like a few weeks. We were messaging back and forth before we finally met in person. And when we met, she got all my pocket squares for Lamont Rucker, and she was like, we also want some pieces for Lady May. And this kind of like blew my mind because I was just happy if my stuff got on an extra on the show. I just wanted to brag and say my stuff is on Greenleaf. I wasn't expecting it to be on like the leading character.
Yeah.
So she was like on this particular season, they're going to be in the house a lot. So these will work well with her. And as soon as they got the pieces and when they went back to on set, it was like Miss Lynn Whitfield really loves your work. She's requesting, can you make her one that's a little bit longer? And so they gave me a month to work on another one, and I gave it to them. And then so after that, a few days later, Miss Lisa Smetley was like, Miss Lynn Whitfield wants your number. She wants you to make her something custom. And so she called my phone, and I started screaming like, "Ah!" I can't believe she called. And we met in person. Then she was on her way to the Essence Festival, and then she got some more pieces from me.
Oh wow.
And
She's wearing exclusively you, it seems, Miss Lynn Whitfield.
yeah, but also I would say Lamont Rucker, the costume designer, and Miss Lynn Whitfield told me that he was in the background when they were on sets and stuff, saying that's my little bro, look out for him. And he
Oh
had only
wow.
met me once.
That's
Yeah, he had
amazing.
only met me when he was doing that. And I finally got to tell him thank you in person. And
Yeah.
that's when we got connected. And he was like, thank you for not making me look bad, because sometimes people approach him all the time, but they're not necessarily prepared. So, but I'm definitely forever grateful to,
Wow. I mean
when,
that's really telling of what kind of a person he is and what kind of man he is, to like rep you and just say good things and really support you and your business and a young black talent. That's amazing.
yes.
Yeah. So, I even saw Miss Lynn Whitfield wear your blouse while she was watching Kamala become vice president.
Oh, yes. That was like, she surprises me so much. Well, she's my auntie. She called me her nephew now. So, but I'm always just in awe whenever I see her wear my pieces and the way she styled them. That'd be the thing. It's
That
like,
was
okay,
a
I would have
dope
never
pink like suit she had on with
seen.
that.
Absolutely. So I was like, I would have never thought, I would collaborate those pieces together, but she already be having it in her head, and she's just so creative. I just love seeing how, sometimes you have artists, but then you have some artists that just go over and beyond. Like, you don't just do what's given there. I see her as just as an artist and a talented person, that she just go over and beyond. Like, from even just watching her on film and on set, and the way she, dresses and everything that she wants to do creatively. It's like, wow, she didn't just go to miles, she went 10 miles. And that
Yes.
inspires me. That inspires me that I need to be up on that as well. I'll try to go the extra mile. Don't get comfortable.
Yeah, never get comfortable. And so, speaking of never get comfortable, you have been on CNN. What? MSNBC. Like, how did you get these spots? And yeah, what's going on?
I would say that the CNN situation was very random. I was actually interning, but I had my business. And I got an email from someone at CNN, was like, we would like to interview you for a segment about sagging pants. And I was just like, wow, this is a controversial topic. But then at the same time, they say it was about going to be on streetwear and sagging pants. So this is a controversial topic, but then I'm wondering, like, how did they find me? And the lady told me she was Googling like Atlanta fashion designers. They needed someone. And she found me, she went on my website, looked me out. She also found some of my speaking engagements on YouTube, so she seen that I could speak well as well. And she decided to pick me for that particular segment. So then I was like, oh, I had to get into my research. Well, just thinking, you have sagging pants is very controversial. I don't want to
Yeah.
say anything to offend anyone. And I also want to make sure that I'm representing my culture the right way as well. So
Exactly, exactly. I totally hear you about representation. So tell me more about where you see your line going and where it's going to progress, because I know it's going to be huge.
absolutely. So my original, when I said I want to have a clothing line, was I want to be like Ralph Lauren. I want to have that respect as an American fashion brand. I wanted to, for a teenager or 8-year-old, feel cool that they're wearing a Cedric Brown collections, but also an 80-year-old or 70-year-old, they look fabulous. They want to have a Cedric Brown collection as well. I want to have that American, be recognized for generations, not just something like a fly-by-night business. I want that longevity of classicness. Like, I bought this back in 2015. I can pull this out. It still look good
Yeah.
20 years from. That's what I want longevity wise, and continually to expand and add more products to my line. and build my, and these are my short-term goals, just building my audience more, expanding and adding new product, definitely expanding on the e-commerce world right now, just for the way that we're in right now. It's COVID. As you can see, you just can't be dependent on anything. Like a store can go out of business at any moment. You just want to make sure that you're able to still, regardless of what's going on, you can still, provide for yourself. So
Exactly. Yeah. Thinking long term and also being able to maneuver when things change because, people aren't going to stores like they used to anymore. And it's great to have like an online presence, which you do, which is really good. Um, so do you have any garments around that I can see? Some caftans or some scarves or anything near you?
absolutely. My intentions was to bring my socks over here, but actually I'm gonna ask my mom. Mom, can you bring one of my socks? All right, but I have a pocket square on me, so
Oh,
this right
nice.
here is actually my slogan is you can hang these on the wall or you can wear it to the mall. So this
I
right here,
love it. Yeah, I
this
mean,
pocket
it would
square,
be cool artwork. It would be cool artwork to hang on the wall. You're not right. Yes. I mean, you're definitely right.
so
I said you're not. You're definitely right. Yes. That's beautiful.
this particular this pocket square has the city of Atlanta on it, and
Nice.
yeah, so it has different parts of it, like this, like the silhouette of like the Stone Mountain, different parts of the city. One is like Buckhead, another part is like the downtown area, and also I have my socks. I was hoping, my intentions was earlier to be honest. I was gonna have my kimonos and everything as samples around me, but I went to my mom's house and forgot to bring certain stuff.
Oh, it's okay. It's
Forgot
okay.
to
I
bring certain
see.
stuff.
We can always. That's nice. Yes.
These particular are silhouettes of planes, and I was inspired by the Red Tails, the first Tuskegee Airmen.
Oh,
So I have a few.
my step granddad's a Tuskegee Airman.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. They have that kind of historic.
Yeah.
I love to be around people like that just to
You
soak
know
up
what?
and ask
I,
questions.
I need to get some of those. Maybe I should gift them to family members. Yeah, that's a great idea. I love that.
I have different colorways too. So I have like a burgundy one that goes more for like a Tuskegee color, but this was just a different colorway because I know blue can be very popular for me. And I also have some that represents Black history too, that have actually a silhouette of Hank Aaron on there, Martin Luther King, the Edmund Petton Bridge, and Ebenezer Baptist Church.
Oh wow, that's amazing. I love that. Repping the culture. I love that. That's amazing.
Oh, actually, I have those. My mom just brought those socks in. These are the ones I want her to bring. So this one here has the silhouette of Hank Aaron. This is Ebenezer's Baptist Church, Martin Luther King, and the Edmund Petton Bridge, where to celebrate Black History Month.
Well, I just bought a mask from you. Now I'm going to have to go and buy some socks.
I appreciate you for shopping on my website. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, I just did it. I just did it today. I was like, I like these. Let me get a mask.
Oh, I appreciate that. Well, thank you for looking up my site, and I was expecting you to know all that stuff.
Hey, I do my research. I'm a professional. Did you see all my other interviews?
Well, I see some of them. Yeah, but even still, you just like some things like me knowing I work at the bookstore and stuff like that. Like I don't even know I had that on my website, or where did I say that?
It is not on your website. It is not on your website. I'm like a fly on the wall. I'm always there. I'm looking. I'm recording. I'm keeping track.
Absolutely.
Nice. So, are you going to expand your line and do other fabrics besides the silk? I know, the socks aren't silk, but, are you going to do, use linen maybe? I mean, because, silk is, a very, like, luxury fabric. So, how do you plan on expanding?
Absolutely. I say in the future I would like to working in more fabrics, definitely like cottons, linens, like you said. I like velvet. I love leather, suede. Yes, I definitely would like to continue to expand and other things. I guess right now I just um the silk works great for me for is like with my art and the vibrant colors that it will provide. But eventually, when maybe if I'm not just focusing on the prints, other fabrications work well on that. Like it depends on what it is. And then for what I make right now, this is what's perfect. This is what it's perfect for. I made, sometimes Johnny Wise creates like kimonos and stuff where they use like linens and different kinds. So I would like to continue to explore into other fabrications.
Nice, nice. I love it. I love it. Oh, someone said she bought some socks for her husband. He loves them. And someone is saying that they love the silks. So yeah, I think it's gorgeous. And the flowiness of the caftans are amazing. Yes. I'm going to have
Oh
to
yeah,
sometime borrow a piece from you so I can style it.
I was looking at your portfolio and I would love that as well. So I admire some of your styling work that I saw on your page too.
Oh, thank you.
The high pieces or whatever that looks. So I would love just to see your creativity on, when you work with stylists and with their mindset and what they be thinking about, like pairing stuff with. Even though I'm the designer, I may have my one look in my head, but I was no way in the world I was thinking about some of those, the looks that a stylist come up with.
Yeah, I mean that's the fun of being a stylist and working with designers, creating something different from their work. It's adding on to their work and, kind of taking it out of the box and playing with it and creating something new, a new image or style. I think that's the most fun that a stylist can have.
Absolutely.
Yes. All right, so where can we buy your pieces? What's the name of your site?
It's www.Cedric Brown Collections. You spell it CEDRIC Brown Collections with an S.com.
Awesome, awesome. And it's a good price point too. They're beautiful. Celebrities have worn them, and whenever you wear them, you're definitely going to make a statement. These are pieces that you wear out and about, going to dinner, going on a sexy date, just wanting to look really, put together and dapper. So, yeah.
And it's also very versatile. Like that. Like I feel like my pieces are definitely perfect right now for at home in a Zoom meeting. You can just easily just be comfortable and
Comfortable.
put it on top of your coat. And then you can also, wear it when you just want to go out, quickly put something on, and just look very fashionable. So the flowiness does its job.
So I got a suggestion for you, and I need a cut.
Okay.
I'm joking about the cut, but you need to make camis. The material's great for camisoles. Camisoles are really in right now. You can do it in those patterns. People can wear it with a pair of jeans and some heels. They'll look fly, and it's casual cool.
Okay.
Camisoles next.
Absolutely. All right.
Yeah.
I got.
Yeah, with some lace at the top. You could do a little lace and then a little camisole, V-neck. So, yeah. So now you need to hire me. I need to cut.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, I can bring you on to my team. We need some help around.
Well, that is amazing. I'm excited to see where you go in the future. And it seems like you have a beautiful journey in life ahead of you and a creative journey that I would love to see. So thank you so much for taking the time out today to chat with me. I know you're busy fulfilling all those orders that you have.
Oh, well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak on the Sheen Magazine IG Live. I'm definitely grateful for the opportunity and for you to even be curious to learn more about my brand and myself. I really appreciate it.
Oh, your PR slipped into my DMs. It was like, are you interested? And I was like, yes, I love the work. It's great. Also, skirts, slip skirts. It's easy. Done. Could be a whole set.
Actually, that is
cami, slip skirt. You take them apart. You could wear the skirt with, you know, a flowy sweater. That's totally in right now. Pair of sneakers. I got you.
I definitely have the slip skirt in mind as well. That was, and I was thinking of since I have the button down shirts, making those into like a shirt dress, like as well.
Exactly.
You know, further down the road. But right now I'm just building up that fan base.
Pajama tops blouse. You know, that's totally in too. All right, I'm gonna stop giving you ideas. I'm gonna go.
Let's definitely stay in touch then.
For sure. For sure. Check out Cedric Brown Collections at cedricbrowncollections.com. Check them out. Buy some pieces. They're a good price. You know, 50 to 100 bucks. Not expensive. The masks are $15, which I just bought a mask. So yeah, it's definitely worth the price. And also support Black businesses. All right, Cedric, thank you so much.
All right, thanks for having me.
All right, I'll chat with you later.
I have a blessing.
All right, you too.